The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys! This is Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign, trusted by over 500 NFL players for their winning smiles. And broadcasting live from Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star. Now, your host, Nicole Hutchison.
Wake up, Cowboys Nation. Welcome into Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign in the SWBC studio. I'm Nicole Hutchison alongside Christy Scales, Aisha Morrison. Happy Tuesday? Happy Tuesday. Wednesday, everybody. Wow. That's crazy. Days are just flying by at this point. Draft is approaching. We are now 2 weeks away from draft.
Thank God.
2.5. Same stuff. It all sounds the same.
I'm
That's
so
crazy. Wow. All right, and Cowboys, we're just going to get straight into it because we ain't been here in a minute, and I actually missed y'all. It's time to get talking ball. All right, the Cowboys, of course, Cowboys visits and Dallas Day visits were reported. I'm going to go with Nick Harris's because we love our Nick Harris here.
Yes, we do.
So far, we had for Cowboys visits, Ohio State linebacker Arvell Reese, Texas Tech defensive end David Bailey, Ohio State linebacker Sonny Styles, Ohio State safety Caleb Downs, LSU quarterback Mansour Delane. I already said that one. Indiana wide receiver Omar Cooper Jr., Toledo safety Emmanuel McNeil Warren, Arizona defensive back Trayton Stukes, Miami cornerback Keontae Scott, Missouri linebacker Josiah Trotter, USC safety Kamari Ramsey, Texas Tech defensive end Romello Height, Central Florida defensive end Nylaik. I think I did butcher that one. I'm sorry. Kelly. Louisville, defensive tackle Reen Konga. Wow, those were some names. But that was the list that Nick Harris reported. Just thoughts on that list, who stands out to you. And yeah, Aisha, anyway?
Defense.
Hello.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it's a trend. I mean, this team is very aware that, they're building their defensive side of the ball. A few sprinkles of some offensive players in there, some of those top guys, but kind of what you would expect. And I know, Christy, how important 30-day visits are in this process, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's really your best indicator to the outside world of what's happening, of a glimpse into the discussions that are taking place inside football ops and scouting and coaching and all of that, so player personnel. And then Dallas Day as well. And we'll go through some of those names. The most famous name is obviously E.J. Smith, the son of Emmitt Smith. But it's a real advantage that the Cowboys have that other teams don't. Houston Texans and then some of the schools, teams in California or Florida. But we have such great, not just college programs here locally, but high school programs. And everybody knows the reputation of Texas high school football, that you can bring in some of the top prospects on your Dallas Day local visit, and then it saves those 30-day visits for guys who didn't grow up in the area or play college football in the area. So that's always been an advantage for the Cowboys that isn't afforded to all the other teams. But the thing that stood out to me about the names reported for the 30 visits are, I just feel like we're just like Columbus South, It's just every year, right, with all of these Ohio State prospects, right? It just feels like Columbus, Ohio down here. But, the thing is, it's exciting when you hear some of those names at the top of the list that you mentioned, Nicole, but how many of them are going to be available at number 12? Yeah. And then, a lot of thought now, do you package and move up and try and maybe grab one of those first few names that you mentioned if, all sorts of rumors about making deals or would Cleveland be interested, that kind of thing. So,
yeah. I mean, Christy, to your point about the 30-day visits, Dallas Day, all of those things, these are the opportunities where when you do see teams go up, it probably is because they got to spend this extra time, or they do trades, or there's conversations, or even if teams just get on the phone because they really liked the guy when he came in for a 30-day, a Dallas Day, all of that stuff. And I'll do you one better. The Cowboys y'all ain't slick. They be getting extra looks because they've also hosted the Shrine Bowl the last couple of years. So, and not only that, having the coaches on the staff to be able to work closely with some of these gentlemen that also attend the Shrine Bowl. So they double, triple dipping in opportunities to get looks at these guys and to get more medicals and to get more workouts and to check and verify things during this process. So, I mean, I feel like the 30-day visits have mattered. They have, and then they haven't, because I want to say, was it last year? I feel like a couple of years, like some of the gentlemen they've taken in the first round were not 30-day visits, and that's interesting from Dallas, keeping it kind of close to the vest.
I think they knew that those were more, that feel like they're more solid. Because the thing about bringing them in the building is, you can kind of put them on the board, right?
Yeah.
And kind of get
extra
and
look.
I know you can do that at the combine too, and just kind of quiz them and throw some scenarios at them, football wise, and have them talk through some things. But yeah, it's great. We should mention that you have one more week for your visits. Now, the Dallas Day is a one-day deal that took place 5 days ago.
Yeah,
and so but you have until the 15th. That's the deadline for the NFL. So all 32 teams, you have one more week through April 15th, tax day. To
please
finalize your visit.
Christy,
Sorry.
now why would you remind
That's
them?
how I remember it. That's how I remember
Why would you do that?
I'm going to remind the people that
Please.
taxes is due.
Facts. But no, you made a good point, ladies. It does matter, but it doesn't. But a guy that was one of the Cowboys visits last year was Savon Revel, of course, who was one of the top cornerbacks in the draft before, expected to be drafted before tearing his ACL and hoping to have big step in year 2. But going back to Christy's point, you don't really know if these guys will be available at pick number 12 or hell even pick number 20. What package deal would you ladies kind of say that's worth, okay, let's put this together, trade up so we can get one of those earlier picks?
It would probably be giving away like a 20 and being able to get into the second round. That's something that we've been discussing in the draft community, is that there's not Dallas not having a second round pick. It hurts. Depending on how you feel about second round picks here in this building.
The way that they've been treated,
yes,
over
treated,
time,
drafted,
and
all
the risk,
the
or a
process.
guy. Yeah.
Yes, it's been that round has been difficult for Dallas at this point. So I think getting back into the second round, but maybe giving away like that 20 would make sense. But I don't want to give up a crap ton of capital. I don't think Dallas has it to give up, especially as we go into this scenario where you still have so many holes to fill. Now, if there's a gentleman now we're talking about draft guys, but what if there is a guy that Dallas is cool with trading for? We're going to see some trades that are,
That's fair.
Current players, some veteran players. So would you be willing, even like that third round pick, if there is a tenured player, do you think that you'd be open to that in 20 or something like that, just to
I'm open to anything.
bolster your chances?
This is why I don't get paid the big bucks.
It's a lot.
This is stressing me
It's stressful.
Overall, I would say that I'm a quality over quantity person when it comes to
Okay, I like
the
that.
draft, because some people are all about amassing picks, and I understand that, strength in numbers, and you get. If you miss on a few, well,
You might hit on a
got
couple.
more. Yeah,
Yes,
you
ma'am.
got more darts to throw at the dartboard. But I'd rather have a really accurate dart and get as close to the bullseye as I can, instead of all these picks. I'd rather move it. If there's someone that I am absolutely in love with, move the heck up and get them.
Right.
We need someone to move the needle on defense. Move the needle, okay? And you can fill some of the holes, right, with some of these, free agent acquisitions and stuff. Bring in some veterans if you need to. But if you have a chance to get a true playmaker,
Why not just go get him?
go get them.
I mean, yeah, I see.
Go get them.
I see the point.
Now, people will disagree, and that's not been, most people don't follow that method, but go for it. And I want to go back to the one thing that we were saying about the approach to the second round pick. And I know we don't have a second round pick, as you said, Aisha, but for those that don't have long draft memories or kind of new to following Cowboys on the podcast and stuff like that, the way that the team has approached second round over the last couple of decades is, taking some chances, right?
Yes.
You have like a Sean Lee or somebody like that who's a first-round talent that falls into the second round because of injury concerns. Or you have guys who maybe have some blemishes off the field, and it's like, okay, we'll take a chance on him with the second round. There's a reason. There are multiple reasons why players fall out of the first round, and a guy like a Jalen Smith, I think that's a really obvious one. Linebacker who you knew he wasn't going to play for his rookie season, coming off a catastrophic knee injury, but you were taking a chance on that, and you don't have a second round pick this year, but with so many holes that you have to fill on defensively specifically, you just can't take that approach this year. You have to have that dart to, in my opinion, play right away.
Yeah, and that's kind of like even as we've talked about cornerback Jamar McCoy out of Tennessee, that's kind of been the sentiment that has been, around the community is, coming from, different sources and stuff, is that Dallas is very hesitant to take a player that, despite the fact is a year removed from injury, they just do not feel like they have the room to have a gentleman come in and they need immediate impact, like you said, immediate playmakers, immediate impact. Not saying that I believe he's going to be that, but I don't think that Dallas. It sounds like Dallas doesn't want to risk it, and I think you said it fantastically, Christy, in regard to the second round picks. Is that seems like their risk taking round, but how do you feel about that being the risk-taking round with so much riding on you getting output out of your first, second pick?
I think we're probably thinking the same thing about what they did last year with Revel, right?
Yeah.
And that was different because you had Diggs and you had Bland, right? And so Revel was going to be a guy you come in and you develop and use that rookie year. And that's not one of your first 2-round picks, but still, that was the approach with him. But that was a different circumstance when you had 2 guys with Pro Bowl credentials as your starting cornerbacks. We don't have that this year. And they had also, were trying to fill holes by, with Kyer Elam and stuff like that. It didn't work last year. A lot didn't work last year on defense. And so that's why I just feel like you got to do the sure thing.
Yeah, no, I can agree with you because you said it best. But going back to the taking risks on injured players, so to speak, I kind of did my mock draft, and I had this is why I don't do mock drafts. Okay?
They stress. I don't like them
one.
either.
But anyways, literally my 100th one. But no, like this is if the Cowboys don't get aggressive, like Christy had mentioned, trade up, send a package to whoever, and try to get the best player available. I was like, at this point, at cornerback, I felt like a Jamar McCoy might be the best option in terms of how he looked at his pro day. And
so you had him at 12?
I had him at 12.
No,
because I had Sonny Styles get taken. I had Caleb Downs going to the Bengals. I
don't think it's going to be that far.
Arvell going to the Jets. Yeah.
Even if Dallas doesn't take, I believe if Dallas even doesn't take Jamar McCoy at 12, then it won't be long after, or it might be not long. It might not be long before. There might be some people that were really impressed with him, and obviously the tape prior to him sitting out for the injury. But there's in this class too. I do understand, like, the top guys are the top guys, but there is a lot of richness, especially in that third, second round of cornerback in this class, safety in this class. And so I do think that some teams might opt to just wait until those rounds to take care of it. I mean, I think there's a clear-cut difference, but you never know what you need.
Is there anyone in the second, third rounds that you feel is kind of flying under the radar that maybe could be a fit here in Dallas?
For Dallas,
that
here,
nobody's not talking about?
Anyone, is somebody that's popping up. I have a gentleman that I think that's in the 4th round that I think would be a fit for Dallas. Now, I know Dallas does not have a 4th.
Please.
I don't know, and maybe that's a part of, like we were talking about, maybe they try to find a way to even get into, because from my understanding, how I've learned the draft is that, and Chris Bean can attest to this, is what I learned in the draft show, is the fourth round is it's a money round for a lot of teams.
Cowboys have had a lot of success.
A lot of success because the board has fallen, and it's one of the few times in the draft, it's one of the first times actually, you get a clear look at like what's really going on. It's a good setup starting, that day 3, if I'm not mistaken. So I do think that Dallas is going to, if they have an opportunity to get in the 4th round, maybe they do get another defensive end in that 4th round. And I look at somebody like a Jayshawn Barham out of Michigan, who I know people have their feelings about defensive ends, but this gentleman can do some outside linebacker, inside linebacker stuff. We talked about him I've talked about him on several draft shows where when you talk about an Arvell Reese, as you mentioned before, he does a lot of things like him. He's just a little less polished, just a little bit, but the comp and temperament, attitude, blitzability, and he only played edge, for 1 year. He's still a very raw player, learning the position, but the upside's there, the talent's there, the motive's there. I really feel like he could be somebody that Dallas could pick up in the 4th round as a pass rusher or find a way to get in the 4th round. I don't think he's going to fall to the 5th. I don't think he's going to be there. I think he's
so
too good.
like as a chess piece, he's that
Yeah,
versatile that you
I think he would fit. He's a scheme fit if you do decide to put more depth. If you don't sign back a Fowler or one of these gentlemen, some of these older veterans, no offense to them, if you don't decide to be, I even think a James Houston's deal is short enough to get out of if they don't want to correct. Maybe if they see some ends, because there are some ends in some of these later rounds, maybe they decide to do that and how to supplement their defensive line. That's going to be really important this year. He's a fun player. He looked crazy. he
That's all right on that. I don't mind that.
Yeah, he
bring
look-
that attitude.
He's a little
Local.
Yeah, but I mean, there's so much talent there for him to only have played defensive end 1 year. He's linebacker converted to defensive end, so you get some flexibility there as well, which I think is important.
But could he be a real contributor this year as part of a rotation or?
Oh, yeah.
Or, I mean, he could.
Yes, ma'am. Oh, yes.
Okay.
He, as a pass rusher.
Because sometimes 4th round,
Yeah.
5th round,
He's still
kind of some development.
Yeah.
Kind
He
of
has natural pass rush ability.
Okay.
Natural blitz ability, like a really good feel for how to get to the quarterback. He's still a baby, though. He's still learning the position in totality of defensive end, but as a rusher, I think he could definitely be a guy. But if Dallas can figure out how to get in the 4th, because I don't think he's going to be there.
Well, you're going to have to tell us more about your mock and who you take at 20s.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah, who you talking about?
Dang, wait, we gotta take our first break here on
that's a
Girls Talk,
tease.
Boys
Going into the
Talk,
break.
presented by Invisalign in the SWC studio. We'll be right back.
How does the cheerleader's hair always look so perfect? We asked, and they shared one of their biggest beauty secrets. If you want hair like theirs and confidence to match, use Babyliss Pro styling tools. The Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders use Babyliss Pro curling irons to get those perfect game day curls. To get the hair you see on the cheerleaders, head to BabylissPro.com. Use the code Cowboys20 for 20% off Babyliss Pro tools, the official styling tools of the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Get the discount while it lasts. Offer may be withdrawn at any time at advertiser's discretion.
Discover Aiden, the official luggage partner of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Known for top-tier engineering and craftsmanship, Aiden offers more than just bags. Originating from Australia and designed in New York, it merges fashion, design, and culture. Used by Dallas Cowboys players, staff, and the entire organization, Aiden provides style and functionality for all travelers. Visit AidenTheBrand.com and use code AidenXCowboys for 25% off your purchase. Travel like your favorite stars with Aiden.
Heck of a win, fellas.
Coach, the Cowboys beat us by 30 points.
No, I'm talking about my dog. He started eating fresh food from the farmer's dog and has lost 7 pounds.
Your senior dog with joint issues?
That's right, Steven. The pre-portioned meals of real meat and veggies help keep him lean, active, and feeling like a puppy again.
That's incredible. But what about the game?
The Cowboys smoked us. Hit the field, run some sprints.
Get 50% off your first box of the official pet food of the Dallas Cowboys. Only at thefarmersdog.com/Cowboys.
All right, Cowboys fans, this one's for us. If the men in your life bleed blue and silver like we do, I've found the perfect way to elevate their game day rituals. Gillette just released their best razor in Cowboys colors, and it is everything a Cowboys fan could want. The new Gillette Labs official Dallas Cowboys licensed razor combines his Cowboys pride with Gillette's best shave. And with 50% longer lasting blades, it is truly the gift that keeps on giving. Get it while you can at Gillette.com/NFL. Gillette's best shave is also available as heated.
Back to Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign.
The Farmer's Dog is the official pet food of the Dallas Cowboys. It's real, fresh food, portioned just for your dog and delivered to your door. Visit thefarmersdog.com/cowboys. We have something fun that Farmer's Dog is going to do draft weekend. So draft is 3 days, and so there are activities at the Star all 3 days. And that final afternoon, day 3, I believe it's Saturday, April 25th, people are going to be invited to come on to Tostitos Plaza. They can bring their pets, and I'll be involved helping get some deserving puppies, find them a new home for Farmer's Dog. We're going to have a doggy draft. We're going to have a doggy draft. Thank you, Farmer's Dog, and we're going to get some puppies, get some homes.
Sorry.
There you go.
I just feel like I need to do that. All right, the second segment is brought to you by Blockchain. Invest like an icon. Heck yeah!
Y'all are
I'll be
cute.
waiting for that. That's
Y'all
my
are
favorite
cute.
part. All right.
Okay,
Welcome back into
now
Real
hit
Talk
it
Boys
like
Talk,
that. Hit it
presented
like
by
that.
Invisalign in the SWBC studio. Nicole Hutchinson, Krista Scales, Aisha Morrison. Bring.
I want to know who your 20. There you
There
go.
we go. All
Who's
right,
your
cool.
20.
My 20.
Yeah, and because Chris is going to give us another bling as soon as you tell us you're 20.
Y'all ready for this?
Yeah.
I already know it, but are y'all ready for this?
Yeah.
And the Dallas Cowboys select Dylan Thieneman, the safety out of Oregon. That did not sound great, but you get the point. Cool. He had one season at Oregon, 96 tackles, 2 interceptions, 3-year starter. But I think what stood out to me was his speed. He ran a 4.35 40. 10-yard split at 152 and a 41-inch vertical. And you made a good point about being versatile. He's kind of like that hybrid safety. You can play him nickel safety, of course. And he can cover a lot of ground. That's something that I noticed as well off the tape. But they need someone who's got a high IQ at that position. Hello, Dylan Thieneman. Call him up. He's the one, especially if there's not a Caleb Downs available at 12 and maybe even 20, which probably not, because we were just talking about that off camera. So yeah, I've got Dylan at 20. How y'all feeling?
I would love
y'all like that one?
That would be, I love it.
I would be ecstatic to get
But
Dylan
you
Thieneman.
put both of you've gone defensive back on both of your picks there.
That's just me hoping that they bring somebody in at linebacker before the draft. But then again, if they don't, then I'm hoping that they get a linebacker probably at 12. And
You
then
kind of get one a little bit.
With the flexibility.
Yeah.
My bad. Yeah, you kind of get one
Yeah.
a little bit with the safety. And I think that's the biggest thing is I've been fussing the last couple of days because I feel like I'm still new to the draft situation and all that stuff. But when you start talking about positional value, there's some conversation about some of these safeties falling in this draft. And
why is that? Why is that?
Traditionally undervalued.
They're traditionally very undervalued, and it's just interesting to me because as I look at what the NFL is transforming into and has been transforming into for quite some time, thank you, Sean McVay, attacking the interior of an offense, of an offense. Or of a defense is something that is very normal now. So you see a lot more wide receivers like a CeeDee Lamb doing things in the slot. Pickens is working in the slot. We also see tight ends doing more receiver-esque things. We've seen that position take a jump with receiving things and lining up on the inside and on the slot. And then you see running backs like a Jahmyr Gibbs that's able to line up all across the line of scrimmage. This is causing a lot of conflict in the middle of the defense. And one of the only positions that can help you manipulate that and dictate coverage or dictate what an offense does is the nickel spot. We got to see that a little bit here in Dallas, actually a lot of it here in Dallas with Dan Quinn. And what he was doing at that time, it wasn't innovative because we've seen it before, but in that time it was like, this big nickel thing was starting to be a mismatch problem for some of the tight ends that weren't so athletic and some of those things. But the problem with that was that we saw that the size up front didn't match. I think that when you look at Christian Parker and some of these other gentlemen, they have innovated that nickel position and where a safety or a nickel corner command that, and you get run support, you get a guy to come help up on the second level. You get a guy, obviously, that hopefully can go hash to hash and change and be able to change the picture and be smart in zone. But then you have guys, too, that on the nickel, they have to come set the edge.
Yeah.
They have to come play. Like, it is a very physical position that requires you to have. It's one of the only positions to me that affects the third, second, and first level of the defense. That is value.
Yeah.
That is value. That is positional value. You've always taught us that a guy that is doing, if you see a guy doing a lot of stuff, he's probably really smart up here, and that's valuable. So to me, when you look at a guy like a Dylan Thieneman or Caleb Downs who have the ability to literally not come off the field.
Yeah.
These gentlemen cannot come off the field the whole set, like the whole game, because they can do so much of everything. I don't know why the safety position, I think in this NFL, the safety position is becoming valuable, and I'm wondering when the NFL is going to kind of switch their tune, because we've seen the DBs really be the difference in the playoffs on these defenses, right? So how do you ladies feel?
No,
I apologize. I was in the box.
I agree, and I love what you said about the way that we've seen how it impacts. Flip the script and think about how the Cowboys utilize that on offense. You mentioned moving CD on the inside, and it used to be your slot receiver was your little Cole Beasley or Wes Welker type and stuff. No, not anymore. And you get like and think of what they can do, move with like a Brevin span forward.
Yeah,
they do with Jake and things like that. But it's all about, it's a chess match, right? And
yes.
How you move your chess pieces. And the Cowboys were really great at that last year in terms of getting those mismatches. It's all about creating mismatches. And that's what you attack, is linebackers who aren't good in coverage, or safeties who, if you can get a guy matched up, one of your top receivers on that. So, I love that point. But as soon as you said that, I was thinking of it from what the Cowboys have done offensively.
Oh, interesting.
And so
to attack it.
Yeah. And it just goes to your point of how difficult it is to find that versatile player, and who has the brains, has the communication skills as well, has the physicality, as you say. And so if you Jordan Lewis, and it was such, and Jerry admitted it after the just was it at the owners' meetings? He said, that it was a
they took
loss
advantage
to not have him.
Yeah.
So I'm with you 100%. And we talk about the undervalue. Traditionally undervalued. I'm still mad about Darren Woodson not getting in the Hall of Fame this year.
And honestly,
he was so far ahead.
It's starting to feel like that has some he's so much of the blueprint of what we are looking at right now. It's insulting. Yeah. But to the position, I mean, Caleb Downs, out of all the gentlemen that I've watched in this draft, and again, it could just be a smokescreen. We're seeing him get the talks of him maybe falling in this draft. I was always taught that consistency is what matters, and this is from what I've watched this whole draft season, the most consistent player game to game. And to know that it is possible that he might fall just because people don't value safety. It's like, well, where does the value come from? What are we talking about? Because we are even the defensive coaches that came in here and interviewed with the Cowboys, to include a Christian Parker and some of those gentlemen. They talked about, I believe we heard them say how much of a mismatch nightmare Pickens and CD were lining up in the slot, and that that played a huge role in their game planning. How much more do you need to know? And you know why Pickens and CD Lamb could cook? Because those teams did not have a nickel that could stay home. So
it's all matchups. It's all chess.
I love that you said that, because that's what I think. When you look at the playoffs, there's a clear difference in the clipboard warriors. You start seeing the chess matches, the game within the game. I think the nickel spot being something that's used and the attacking of it on offense and defensive side is kind of the chess match, and I enjoy watching it every week in the NFL.
Let me ask you something, because granted, I know we're talking about this draft class and the value at safety, the nickel, but I want to talk about this current roster, because you do have a guy, and we hadn't talked much about Zion Childress, who they brought in. He played safety in college. They moved him to play cornerback here in Dallas. Obviously, hadn't seen him too much since the preseason, but do you feel like he fits that mold of that nickel IQ type of vibe, could play safety, could be a linebacker. Does he have that flexibility that fits perfectly within this scheme?
I think Marquise Bell and him both have the traits to fit into what they want from what I believe that they want from their safeties. We're not gonna know until we see it on the field and what they do, because we don't even know who's going to be wearing the green dot and all that stuff. But I do think both of those gentlemen fit what it is that they're looking for, and both have flexibility, and that's both are very physical. This draft, y'all, I just keep getting this itch that talent's going to matter, IQ's going to matter. Temperament is going to be so important, and it has been, because even if you look at the safeties, appreciate you, Kyle. I know this is your doing. But I flipped here in the magazine, in the draft magazine for this year. These gentlemen do a great job. I was looking at PJ Locke, 1-year deal. And who's the other gentleman? Thompson. Yeah, Jalen Thompson. And all of those guys kind of have, even the gentleman from the Rams, they feisty. Feisty, want to take the ball away, in your face. Yes, Kobe Durant, in your face. That is a temperament thing. And for them to even let go of Wanye, who's been here, who they, to let him go. I mean, I know that he had some issues last year, but that says something to me. Donovan Wilson, who has been a veteran here for a long time, letting him be a free agent. They must have some faith in these young guys down the roster, to be depth pieces at the very least. Do you guys not think that? You guys don't think?
No, I love the name you mentioned, but
Clark.
That's going to be really interesting to see how they where they line them up in. Once we get to training camp and stuff, mini camp, you can't really tell as much, but I think that's because you're going to get to see guys like that play a lot in preseason.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, wow, yeah.
So
in special teams.
Absolutely.
And we might see more Elijah Clark this year, because if I'm not mistaken, Keemon Hall was doing a lot at the nickel this past year, but Elijah was behind him, and he might have the opportunity now, to get more reps in, like Christy said. Yeah, we're going to get a look-see.
We're going to take our second break here on Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign. Up next, we got Real or Smokescreen. It's a game that I just created. We'll be right back with more Girls Talk, Boys Talk.
Heck of a win, fellas.
Coach, the Cowboys beat us by 30 points.
No, I'm talking about my dog. He started eating fresh food from the farmer's dog and has lost 7 pounds.
Your senior dog with joint issues?
That's right, Steven. The pre-portioned meals of real meat and veggies help keep him lean, active, and feeling like a puppy again.
That's incredible. But what about the game?
The Cowboys smoked us. Hit the field, run some sprints.
Get 50% off your first box of the official pet food of the Dallas Cowboys. Only at thefarmersdog.com/Cowboys.
How does the cheerleader's hair always look so perfect? We asked, and they shared one of their biggest beauty secrets. If you want hair like theirs and confidence to match, use Babyliss Pro styling tools. The Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders use Babyliss Pro curling irons to get those perfect game day curls. To get the hair you see on the cheerleaders, head to BabylissPro.com. Use the code Cowboys20 for 20% off Babyliss Pro tools, the official styling tools of the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Get the discount while it lasts. Offer may be withdrawn at any time at advertiser's discretion.
Tito's Handmade Vodka is the reason Texas vodka is even a thing. Back in 1997, we opened Texas's first and only legal distillery. We paved the way for knockoffs, copycats, and wannabes ever since. Tito's is the original, the blueprint. Born in Austin, raised everywhere, blissfully ignoring trends for decades. And we're still the only Texas vodka really worth a damn. Distilled and bottled by 5th Generation Inc., Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume. Savor responsibly.
Cowboys fans, when it comes to navigating the ever-changing world of tax, your business needs a partner it can trust to tackle even your biggest tax challenges. Ryan is the largest firm in the world dedicated exclusively to business taxes. Our team of tax professionals has local expertise in all areas of tax and can help you uncover savings opportunities you didn't know you had. Learn more about how Ryan can improve your overall corporate tax performance by visiting Ryan.com. Ryan, the official tax partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Back to Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign.
Get excited for the most dazzling DCC experience. Dallas Cowboys Cheerleaders Live is coming to a theater near you. Witness iconic group and solo performances, enjoy an on-stage Q&A session, and even be part of a live audition. For dates and tickets, visit DallasCowboysCheerleaders.com/tour. And last night was the first night of the tour at Winspear Opera House, downtown Dallas. fantastic. Absolutely loved it. Let's see, tomorrow, Thursday night, April 9th, they'll be in Fort Worth, and then they've got dates Austin, San Antonio, Wichita Falls, El Paso, Tulsa, Oklahoma City, Rogers, Arkansas. So it was a great way to kick off the tour. So a lot of fun.
That's dope. That's dope. I know some of our video team was there covering it. Leah.
Really?
Yeah.
Leah and Alexis. So
Oh, it was outstanding. Yeah. Even better than last year, I think.
pretty dope. All right. We got a game. Are you okay?
I'm a funny bone.
Got an injury report.
Oh,
Aisha Morrison
Why
out
is
for
that?
3 weeks because of a funny bone injury.
Why people be saying it's funny? It's not.
funny. It's literally not funny.
Is that supposed to be like an oxymoron or like a joke?
Probably.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's implied. Funny.
That part. Well, I hope you feel better.
Okay,
We got a game to play. So it's called Real
right.
or Smokescreen. Are you ready? So I'll just throw out maybe topic or storyline, maybe a draft thing. Y'all decide. Real
Like
or
a scenario? You're
Yeah, a
going to
little
present us a scenario?
There we
Okay.
go.
Let's go.
Y'all ready for this?
Yes.
Yes.
Dun, dun, dun,
dun.
All right.
Oh.
Right. All right. Cornerback. The Cowboys going cornerback in round 1. Real or Smokescreen?
God, I hope it's real.
Real.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, cool.
Real.
Yeah.
That was easy.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
not with both, but one of the two.
Yeah.
Assuming they stick with two.
That's fair.
With 2 picks, I mean. Yeah.
When do I want to go
Yeah.
next?
Okay. Oh, this is easy game. Make
easy.
it harder. Make it harder.
Make it-
Okay.
No,
make it harder.
No.
You don't want to stress? All right. The Cowboys. This one's probably not hard. But
Okay.
Going linebacker at 12, and they're going Sonny Styles.
There's Smokescreen, I don't think Sonny
You don't think
gets
he'll
anywhere
make
near 12. No. No, I think he's where do you realistically think Sonny's gonna
I had Sonny going
Yeah,
4
you're wrong.
overall to the Titans.
to the Titans? And where'd you have Jeremiah Love going then if you had the Titans?
7 to Commanders.
Okay. Ooh, I don't want to have to play him twice.
Did I stress you
year.
out even more?
I don't. Yeah.
Yeah, I get really.
I've seen some that have him going 5 to the Giants, and I'm just like, I don't want to face that
Same.
twice a year.
That's what's been disgusting me. That's my issue. Christy has stated it. It don't matter who it is.
You don't want him.
People in the division is getting better, and that makes me upset.
Yeah.
But ew,
Yeah.
having to see Sonny Styles or Jeremiah Love would be horrible every week. And I do think Sonny Styles. I feel like Washington is in play, of course.
Hey, if he goes to 12, I mean, just don't even wait 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Turn in your,
Oh, if you can go
don't
get
turn
him.
in a card anymore. You do it on your little computer, but hit the key, whatever. Hit send.
That's fair. I mean, I had him
where do you think
not
he's going?
available. So.
Sonny Styles. I don't know. I mean, I just think his IQ is so high. I feel like somebody's gonna take. But I also too feel like we're getting fixated on the fact that this is like a more of a defensive class, and the offense. People gonna get offense. People are gonna come up and
Those
get offense, y'all.
tackles and
It's not even. It's not that many good tackles.
That's why they probably take him early.
Yeah, they might. There's not that many good tackles. Like, we got spoiled because tackle has been so kind of heavy at the top of the draft that it has caused a lot of good defensive players to fall into the teens. And without that this year, I don't know. But I
had
do
2
think,
tackles in the first
and that's it.
12.
That's it. And that might be generous to some people.
Yeah.
Lord have mercy. I think that Sonny Styles is going to go top 10, and unfortunately, that means he's going to go to one of your division rivals. So good luck.
You say it's so harsh. I didn't like that. All right.
What?
Number 3. Are y'all ready for this?
ready.
All right. The Cowboys are taking a wide receiver. Day 2.
Maybe. Maybe. I'm gonna say it's real. It's real.
Yeah, I'll go real.
It's real.
It's real. All right.
Strong consideration, at least.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. Y'all ready for this one?
Yes.
All right, but y'all have a choice. All right, cool.
Oh God.
Real or Smokescreen? This might stir a pot a little bit, but I don't know. I don't care. If the Cowboys really wanted Jadeveon Clowney back, he'd already be signed. Real or
No, 'cause he's
Smokescreen?
Real.
Real.
Yeah.
Cause you think they? Well, no.
Look. With these guys who are the free agents like that, the veteran free agents, the longer you wait, the more the price tag goes down.
Mm-hmm.
And see what you get in the draft, and then fill the
Figure it out.
holes with the veteran free agents. That's why, the Bobby Wagners of the world, the guys like that, you can wait on that.
Mm-hmm.
You can wait. I'm not saying I like it. I'm saying that's their.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I like it.
No, I think that's the attitude, and it's
Yeah.
not just the Cowboys, but around the league, there's some really fine players.
Oh, and I think
that are available, but you're waiting to see if you can get younger and cheaper.
Yeah.
And if you can't get younger and cheaper, then you go back. Go back to the store and buy what you need.
And Clowney put on some good tape for himself to be to have some real conversations at the table, especially at his age. I mean, the production last year from him, he's gonna be able to be like, hey, I need a couple more dollars.
Mm-hmm. 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 That's fair. All right, here we go. Dang, I don't want to do this one yet. Dang,
Okay.
I'll do it. It's fine. All right, real or smokescreen? This draft, 2026, will define the next 2 years of the Dallas Cowboys.
Period.
So real.
Real to me. It's huge implications on this draft. Huge. Sucks. Yes. This whole offseason, whatever.
Everything about 20.
Everything. The whole thing. Mini camp, for God's sake. How they running out there?
Shut up.
What snacks are they serving?
No, it's so. It seems like an obvious question, but it's a great question.
It is a really good question.
Because when do you have this kind of capital? Cowboys haven't had this kind of capital
Talk about
in
it,
a
Christy.
long time. If you do not take advantage of it this year, holy smokes.
Yeah.
And it also has to do with your staff coming in. I mean, you have made such a commitment to that defensive side of the ball. And it's a bit of a risk.
Yeah.
You have a guy who hasn't been a coordinator before. You're bringing in this talent, coaching-wise, from all these different areas and putting them together. This is risky. This isn't bringing in a Zimmer or an Eberflus, or Zeberflus, I almost said, combining the two together. But I almost said, I started to say Zeberflus, but you know what I mean. And so, I mean, they're Cowboys, the Joneses are putting it out there.
Yeah.
They really are. And if you have your Tristan Hills and Taco Charltons, if you have that kind of draft, it's going to be
We're
a rough.
cooked.
Yeah. Well, it's you're going to set yourself back for a few more years. It's not just going to be a 1 year thing.
You can't risk, and that is why there's so
That's
much.
why I want quality over
Yes.
quantity.
Yeah, that's why you're risking so much. But I mean, to your point, I think that this is also this is a defining moment for this next 3 years for Dak Prescott.
Yes.
His supporting cast is going to be huge on what his legacy is here if he does decide to leave here after his contract and all that stuff. I mean, getting this defense ready to pair with this offense I think it has huge implications on multiple gentlemen's careers and their time here in Dallas. If
Legacies.
you cannot balance out this team and get this defense to at or right at the same level as what the offense has been. It's too important.
And just to put a fine point on it, look at the commitment that the team has made offensively, offensive line, all of the resources that have gone into that with the draft picks and the like. Now that they have to come through this year.
Yeah.
They have to come through. The foundation is there. They have to keep moving forward. If they cannot regress. So the offense has to keep doing. You've put the resources into that. Now the resources are going to go to defense.
Yep.
Okay? And it's it's not going to be a miracle like this season, but we keep saying it can't be worse, but you can put that foundation as you have with the offense the last couple years with the resources.
That's fair. All right, we got the last one before we have to dip out of here. All right, real or smokescreen? This defense can't reach its ceiling without upgrading at safety. Real or smokescreen?
Oh, wow.
More?
So need to improve its safety to reach
its ceiling.
to improve.
Real.
Yeah.
For this,
Yeah.
What is you giggling? What is this McGiggle?
Because I just know what's in your head right now. That's why.
No, real. I mean, like we talked about it, it's just too important to the overall operation of what Christian Parker's system is, and also to their cheat codes. It's just, safeties are cheat codes. If you got good ones, cheat codes. They affect the whole game.
Yeah.
Agreed.
All right. Well, this has been great. We're going to play
It was
this
fun.
every
Thank
Monday.
you for the game.
I love that game.
Thanks, man.
We could have fun with that during the season with matchups and stuff like
I liked that.
Yeah.
Let's go. All right. That's a wrap for Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign. For Christy Scales, Aisha Morrison, I'm Nicole Hutchison. We'll see y'all back here next week.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys?